Camera, okay.
Okay, my recording has been started.
Okay, okay. Okay, in basic procure to pay cycle, in last two sessions we have covered already the material master, how to create the material master. Okay, so firstly I have created one material master just for the your revision purpose. Okay, so the tick code for the creation of the material master is MM01. Okay, so for the just revision purpose, I will show you how to create the material. Okay, then we can order for the next topic. Okay, so select the standard industry sector as a mechanical engineer and material type as a ROH. Okay, which is the standard one. Select the basic views to are required for the creation of material. Then enter the plant and storage location. Okay. So don't worry about what is the plant and storage location. At the time of the enterprise structure, we will cover that part. Okay. So I can just put here material name, description. For whatever the description you want, you can enter it here. Okay. And select the basic unit of measurement, material good. You can select from the drop down list. Okay, so right now I am selecting the material group as a default group, which is a standard one. Then purchase group I have created as a TP1. And as per the previous session, you know what is the valuation class and all the things for the standard material type. We are selecting this as a 3000. Okay, in future you get to know about it, what is the valuation class and all the things. Okay, so don't worry about that, and just enter the moving average price of that material. And like this, we have created the one material. Okay, so I can just copy this created material for our P2P cycle. So I can put into the Word file. Okay, so that is nothing about the creation of the material. Okay, so okay, so this is our today's topic. Okay, so the creation of the vendor master. So what is the vendor? So that's the one company where we can procure or purchase the material for our running the business. Okay, so that is nothing but the vendor. So whenever we are creating the vendor master, so we are maintaining the information of the vendor, like their name, company name, okay, their address, then their GST number, account number. Okay, so last step in our procure to pay cycle is the payment of the vendor. Okay, so that's the purpose to maintain the vendor master in our SAP system. Okay, so there are the three types of the vendor. We can maintain the vendor for the company code, then we can maintain the vendor for the purchasing side, and one is a maintain the vendor centrally. So these are the T codes to create the vendor master centrally. XK01, XK02 for the change in the vendor master data, and XK03 for the display of the vendor. So whenever we are going to the separate topic of the vendor master, at that time we can cover the all the three types of the vendor master creation. Okay. So for today we are going to learn the creation of the vendor master centrally. Okay, so you can go to the directly T code also, and by the following path also you can go for the creation of the vendor master. So I will show you in the SAP system how the path will work. So in the SAP, go to the SAP menu, then follow the path like a logistic, go to the materials management, then go to the purchasing. Under purchasing, you have the master data option. Under that, you have the vendor. Okay, so these are the some types. Create the vendor, but today we are going to learn about the creation of the vendor centrally. So okay, so if you are selecting this XK01, so the same screen will be open. Whatever you can enter the T code into the command field also, same screen will be open here. Okay, so for that, this is the initial screen of the creation of any vendor centrally. So what is mean centrally? So it contains all the data like a company code, purchase org, and account group. So just select the company code here. My purchase organization is a TP10, and account group is a lots of the account group we have created here. So as a material type, we have selected ROH as a standard material type. Okay, so like that same for the account group, KRED is a standard vendor account group. Okay, so we can select that KRED. Okay, so at the time of configuration, we will learn how to customize this vendor account group and all the things. Okay, so don't worry about that. Just select this for company code, purchase organ, KRDD as a standard vendor account group. Okay, so just entering all the required data, just press enter. So the creation of the vendor screen will be pop up here. Okay, so the title you can select as a company, doctorate, doctor. Okay, Mr. All the options are available here. So I'm just selecting as a company and enter the name of that supplier or a vendor. So what I can do, I can enter paste the for it. Then what is the search term? Search term is whenever we are getting the report of the vendor. So at that time we require this search term for the sorting purpose. So whatever the search term you want to mention for that vendor, you can mention it. Okay, so I can just paste vendor short keys for that vendor. Okay, so whenever you want the report, extracting the report, so at that time you can get that search term at the time of the reporting. Okay, and just enter test vendor SAP free batch. Okay, then enter the address. Then select the country from the drop down list. So here are all the list of the countries will be coming here. So from that you can select it. Okay, so I can just select the India and the region, which state you want to select it. You can select from the list here, like Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, whatever you want. From the which region you belong, your vendor. So you can select that vendor region there. So just select it and enter the mandatory or required things in that the creation of the vendor. Okay, so PO box I can enter as a. You can collect this data from the vendor and you can create your vendor master. Okay, so right now these things are not required here, customers and all the things, and these account, bank key, account holder name, this data will be filled by the finance team. Okay, so while we can create the vendor, so these bank data, account name, account holder name. Okay, so whenever the payment will be done, so the account team is totally responsible for that. So all these data will be maintained by the finance team in any industry sector. Okay, so the guy is not responsible for this to maintain the bank account data and all the things. So they can personally come and enter the all data. Okay, so yeah, for the aiming perspective, we need this reconciliation account. Okay, so this is the mandatory thing for entering the reconciliation account whenever we are doing the payment of the vendor. Okay, so which account will become, how the reconciliation will be done. So for that purpose, we are entering the reconciliation account here. Okay, so that is the standard one. We are going to select here. That is the 164 times 0. So this is the standard reconciliation account used in the SAP system. Okay, so in your business scenario, the accounting team will be given you this reconciliation account and all the things. Okay, so the account teams will be totally responsible for this reconciliation account. Okay, so as a standard one, we can select it, and the cash management. So that's it, our not part. So just time being, I can select as a domestic one, which is a standard cash management account group. So what is the payment term? So as per the government terms and all the things, okay, so the government has given the standard payment terms to the MSME vendors. Okay, so we can communicate with the vendors and we can fix the payment term with the vendor. So what is the 50 days, 16 days, then 45 days, 60 days. These are some standard payment terms which is given by the MSME. So we can select it from the drop down list, NT30, NT60. Okay, so these are the some standard one payment terms will be given by the vendors. So we can communicate with the vendors, and what is the payment terms, we can fix it with the vendor while we can communicate with the vendor. Okay. Then what is the order currency? We can see that from the drop down list. These are the some order currencies which are available for ordering the material. Okay, so as per your requirement, you can select your order currencies like a US dollar, in euros, so Indian rupees. Okay, so these are the some list of the currencies here. From that, you can select it. Okay, so I can select it the INR. Again, I can enter the terms of payments here as a NT30 means within the 30 days we need to pay to the vendor. Okay, so after the receiving the material in our company's premises, okay, so we need to pay to the vendor within the 30 days. Then if we are not going to pay to the vendor within that 13 days, so the vendor can claim the company. So that's the my payment term, and you are not able to pay to the my company. Okay, so they can registered the case against the company also. Okay, so with that payment terms, we need to pay to the vendor. Okay, so that is the last screen of the vendor, and we can select this as a GR base. What is the GR base? Whenever we are receiving the material, okay, so we can do the goods receipt of that material, correct? So while we are entering the vendor's data, so at that time we can fix without the goods receipt. We are not doing the any invoice verification. Okay, so this is for the safety purpose. We can enter the this tick mark. So goods received based invoice verification. Okay, so if I'm not selecting this, so I can directly invoicing that vendor. Okay, so some vendor will come and claim us. So you can pay to the me. Okay, without receiving the material, we are not paying to the any vendor. Okay, so this is for the safety purpose. We can select this without receiving the material. We are not doing any invoices towards the vendor. Okay, so after entering this, so our vendor master data will be created. Just enter it, and the data will be saved. Okay, so the system showing us. So vendor has been created for the company code H100 for the purchasing organization TP10. Okay, so I can just copy this vendor data. Like this same path I have followed. So the creation of the vendor, which is put in the file, like the enter the required things in that vendor. Okay, so like this, the vendor will be created with that company code. Okay, so if you want to change the something in that vendor, so for that we have the T code of XK02. If some vendors address will be changed or anything, their account number will be changed. Okay, so if you want to change anything at that vendors maintained before, so what we can do, we can change the vendor data by using the T code XK02. Okay, so just click on that and enter the vendor which you want to change the data. Okay, so you can select, this is our vendor recently we have created, correct? So I want to change something in that. So what I can do, I can just go to the screen of XK02. Okay, click on that and enter the vendor here. Then select the company code and purchase organization there. Okay, and whatever the data you want to change, you can select it. Okay, so just select if you want to change the address, if you want to change the any accounting information, okay, purchasing data as per your requirement, whatever the data you want to change, you can select from this tab. Okay, so I want to change the address only, I can select the only address. Okay, so like this, as per your requirement, if you want to do any changes in that vendor master, so you can do it by using the XK02 T code. I can just select all the views and just press enter. Okay, so if I want to change this PO box, what I can change, I can change that 205060. No issue. Okay, whatever the data you want to change, you can enter it. Okay, so don't worry, whatever the data you have changed, you can just change it and click on the save option. So the system will be giving the message like the changes have been made. Okay, so like this, if you want to change anything in that vendor, so you can change by using this XK02 T code. Okay, then if you want to only the display of that vendor data for the some purpose, if you want to verify the bank account data, payment terms, vendor address. Okay, so for that purpose, if you want to check without changes, you can go for the option of the display. So just click on that display. XK03 is a T code which is used for the only display purpose. Okay, so enter your vendor, enter the company code data and purchase organization and select which view you want to display. Okay, so if I want to just display the purchasing data, I can just deselect all the things and click on the executive. There is option of deselect also and select all also. Okay, so like this, you can select and deselect all the options. Okay, so I just want to see the purchasing data, just select it and press enter. Okay, so like this, the data which is maintained under the purchasing, like the order currency, payment of terms, will be only displayed here. Okay, so we cannot change anything in this. Okay, like this, I want to check the address. What I can do, I can just click on the address and press enter. So the system will be only showing the that specific address data only. Okay, so we cannot check all the data, we can only view the address. So like this is the XK03 T code will be used for the display of the vendor. Like this, today we have seen the creation of the vendor, the changes of the vendor, and the display of the single vendor. Okay, so like this, we have the other option like the list display for the vendor. Okay, so sometimes For the reporting purpose, we want the extract all the list of the vendor which is maintained in the single company code. So how we can do? So there is a option of list display of the all the vendors within a single tab. So the T code is for that display of the list of the vendor, which is a MKVZ. So just click on that. Okay. So the system will be asked, so which vendor you want to display here. So if I'm maintaining the purchase organization, so I can just enter it, or I'm selecting the account group as a KRAD, correct? So whenever I'm trying to create the vendor, so at that time I have entered the vendor account group as a KRAD. Okay, correct. So as per that sorting term, I can search the list of the all the vendors with that related to the group. Okay, so if I am selecting the KRAD account group, so the all the vendors which will come under the KRAD group, so system will be showing the list of that all the vendors. Okay, so this is the vendor account group KRAD. Like this, the all the vendors which is created under the KRAD group will be come here. Okay, so if I want to search the vendor by using the purchase organization, just enter the purchase organization group here and click on execute. So these are the vendors which are created under the purchase or TP10. Okay, so like this, you can extract the list of all the vendors. Okay, like this. This is our recently created vendor, correct? 801086. So if you want to display, you can just go to double click on that. Okay, so just click on the vendor. So you will open the display of vendor screen. Okay, so the whatever the data we have maintained, the address, then reconciliation account, purchasing data. Okay, so all the data will be displayed here. Okay, so this is nothing but the list display of the vendor. Like this, you can enter. Okay, so the what is the search term? From the search term also, you can search the vendor. So whenever I have creating the vendor, so at that time I have mentioned the search term. Okay, so this is the search term, TVSP. So for the display of that vendor, you can just enter the search term here. So the system will be given the only specific that vendor. Okay, so that's the use of search term. Okay, so that is the short key for the searching of the any vendor. Okay, like this we can change and display the vendor, and there is the other options like the list display of the vendor with respect to the purchase group, vendor account group, and search term. Okay, so after the completion of the vendor master, so the next step is the creation of the purchase info record. Okay, so the what is the purchase info record? Whenever we are purchasing the any material from the vendor, so we need to maintain the info record of that material and vendor. It is the combination of vendor and material. Okay, so we are maintaining the price of updated price of that material in a info record. Okay, so whatever the price of that material given by the vendor, so we are entering that price into the that info record. Okay, so it will be coming into the picture while we are creating the purchase order. Okay, so with reference to the info record, the purchase order will be populating the price of that material in the purchase order only. Okay, so purchase info record is the combination of material and a vendor master. Okay, so this is the another type of the master data. Once we are maintain the material master and vendor master, we need to maintain the purchase info record of that material and a vendor. Okay, so the T code used for that creation of the purchase info record will be ME11 for the creating any purchase info record, ME12 for the changes in the purchase info record, and like that ME13 is only for the display purpose. Okay, so And again, if you want to go to the path, this is the path to create the purchase info record. So go to the SAP menu, logistic, materials management, purchasing, master data, and info record. Okay. So I can go to the SAP and I will show you the same path we need to follow. Okay. Go to the logistic. Under that, we can go for the materials management, purchasing view, master data, and info record. Okay. So if you want to follow the path, you can go to the path. And if you want to use directly the T code, then you can enter the T code here. The same screen will be open by following the path also and directly enter the T code also. Okay. So as you are new, so my suggestion is to follow the path. Once you become an expert, then you can try to enter the codes there. Okay. So, but whenever you are following the path, so you will be getting the list of the all the tickers here. Okay. So whenever you are using the ticker directly, so you are not getting the that much list of the tickers here. Okay. So my suggestion is to all please follow the path only to create the any master data. Okay. So you are getting the multiple tickers here. You can just go through it and check what is all the tickers and all the things. Okay. While practicing. So right now, I want to create the info record for the material and vendor recently, which I have created. Okay, so just click on that. Okay, so this is the screen of creation of the info record here. Okay, so whenever we are creating an info record, so there are the four types of info category. Okay, so standard, subcontracting, pipeline, and consignment. Okay, so these are the some special type of the procurement process. Currently, we are not focusing on that. We are focusing only on the standard info record here. Okay, so whenever we are covering the special procurement type, at that time we can cover these all. Okay, subcontracting, pipeline, and consignment. Okay, so right now, whenever you are creating any purchase info record, so you can select the info category as a standard only. Okay, so just select on it and system will be asking for the vendor, material, purchase organ, plant. What I can do, recently created a vendor, I can put it here. Okay, so this is the vendor which is we have recently created, and this is the material which I want to create the purchase info record. Okay, so why this is coming, because we have recently created this, so the system will be directly showing the recently created data here. Okay, so the vendor I have entered material, purchase organization, and my plant is also same. Okay, so after selecting this all data and select on the info category as a standard, okay, just press enter. Okay, so like this, the screen of the creation of the info record will be come here. Okay, so after entering the all the required data, okay, so you need to enter what is this. This is the vendor data. Okay, so whenever we are creating any purchase info record, so some of the reminders will be given to the vendor. So before that day, so the vendor can supply the material. Okay, so whenever the first reminder will be given to the vendor, so I can put here as a 2 days. Second reminder will be given by the after the 5 days. Okay, so as per whatever the days we are here entering, so the notification will be gone to the vendor. So this is your our requirement. So you can supply the material. So the reminder we can send to the vendor. So the third reminder I will put as a 7 days. Okay. So whenever we are entering the purchasing value kit, at that time you can get what is the his reminder and all the things. Okay. So right now you can just enter the these reminder things as per your requirement. Okay. So after entering this, here is a option of purchase order unit of measurement. Okay, so if you are going to purchase the oil liquid, okay, so it will be come into the drum only. Okay, so if you are purchasing the material like oil, so one drum is often near about 200 liters, 100 liters. So you are procuring the material in the drums. Okay, so we require the conversion factor for purchasing of that type of a material. Like, okay, so at that time you can change the conversion. So if you are purchasing the oil, so I can put the order unit as a liter. Okay, then I can put conversion factor. One drum is equal to the, or one order unit, if I can put as a order unit as a drum. Okay, so from the drop down list you can select the order unit here. Okay, so I can put the order unit as a bag, drum, whatever as per the requirement we can select it. Okay, here is option of the bag, then as your drop down, so option of the drum. Okay, so I can enter the order unit as a drum. And what is the conversion factor? So one drum is equal to the 100 liters. You can put it, no problem. Okay, so like this you can change the order unit of any material in the purchasing for record, as well as while creating the material also we can put that order unit. Okay, so right now I can put it as a each only 1:1. I can put it here, no issues. So that topic also we can cover at the time of material master. Okay, so what is the order unit as different than a measuring unit? Okay, so that separate topic we have. At that time I will cover that topic. Okay, so right now put it as a 1:1 as a conversion factor. So what is this? This is the delivery time. Okay, so once we can give the purchase order to the vendor, how many days vendor will require to supply that material? Okay, so this is the mandatory thing. So I can put as a 5 days. Within the 5 days, so vendor will supply the material after giving the confirmation purchase order. Okay, so this is nothing about that. So this is the standard quantity. How much of the quantities purchase order will we are going to create here? Okay, so below that quantity we are not able to create the purchase order. If I can maintain here the 10. Okay, so the below the 10 quantity I'm not able to create the purchase order here. Okay, so if I am maintaining here as a 1, so I need to create the purchase order for a minimum 1 quantity there. Okay, and maximum whatever you can create it. Okay, so I can just maintain it as a 10 standard quantity and minimum order quantity as a 1 here. Okay, so as per your requirement you can enter the data here. What is your standard quantity of purchase order, minimum quantity? Then here is option of the shelf life, over delivery tolerance, under delivery tolerance. Okay, so that part we can cover the later whenever we are deep diving into the all the topics. Okay, so here, as I said to you, in the purchase info record we are maintaining the price which is given by the vendor. Okay, so we can search the market and get the rate of that material. Okay, so whatever the price we are maintaining in the purchase info record, it will be come into the picture when we can create the purchase order. Okay, while creating the material also we are putting the one price. Okay, moving average price, but that will, it will be not come into the purchase order. Okay, so whatever the price we are maintaining in the purchase info record, it will be come into the picture when we can create the purchase order. Okay, so I can put the net price of that material as a 20 rupees each. So after entering the net price, just press enter. Here is no data is required to enter anything. Just press enter and save this purchase info record. Okay, so like that vendor master and material master, the system is giving the message the purchasing info record will be created for repeating. Okay, so I can just copy that info record. Okay. So like this, we can create the master data of the info record. Okay. Then after same, if you want to change anything in that created info record, you can go to the same path and change, and display option will be same here to do any changes or in the material price or in the ordering unit and quantity. If you want to any do the changes, you can go to the same path and do the changes and save the transactions. Here is the option of the change, and here is the option of the display. Okay, so like this, you can go enter the info record and you can change the data which you want to change it here. Okay, change and display option will be come here. Okay, so under the info record, again we have the option of the list display of the info record. Okay, so here we can check the info record list. So here is a two options. So ME1L is used to extract the list of the info record by the vendor, and ME1M is to extract the list of purchase info record by the material. Okay, so I can select anyone, I can select it, I can enter the material here and enter the purchase organization info category as a standard and just execute. So the system will be showing us whatever the info record will be created for that material. Okay, so for this material, we have created the only one info record. Okay, so this is the info record recently which we have created for this material. Okay, so I can just enter on that info record. So the info record will be come. So like this, we have maintained the 20 rupees price, standard quantity, minimum quantity. Okay, so like this, you can extract the list of info record by, there are the two types, by the vendor also, by the material also. Just click on the vendor, enter the vendor number. Okay, and you can get the list of the info record with that specific vendor and a material also. Okay, so like this, we can extract the list of info record. Okay, list, and last master data is our source list. What is the source list? So in our company, we have the lots of the vendor, correct? So we are not procuring all the material from the all that vendor. Okay, so we need to specify the vendors from which we are going to purchase that material. Okay, so for that reason, we are maintaining the source list in the SAP. Okay, so that is we can fix the vendor. Okay, so we have the multiple vendors, like 1,000 of vendors will be displayed into our company. Okay, so from that 1,000 vendors, we are not procuring all the material. Okay, so we are only specific vendors that are supplying that some material. Okay, so for that purpose, we are maintain the source list. Okay, so after the creation of the purchase info record, we need to maintain the source list for the specific list of vendor for our purchasing in our plant. Okay, so this is the last master data for the creation of the purchase order. Okay, so the service master we can cover later. Okay, so right now we can cover only the source list. Okay, so for the creation of or maintaining the source list, we are using the P code ME01 for maintaining the source list. Like that, if you want to display the source list, we have the option of ME03, and if you want to any changes in the source list, we have the T code of ME04. Okay, so if you are using the T code, it's well and good, and if you are going to follow the path, it's better for your understanding purpose. Okay, so this is the path how you can maintain the source list in the system. Okay, so just go to the SAP, again follow the same path. Okay, so go to the logistic, materials management, under purchasing, master data, and here is the option of the source list. Okay, so like this you can maintain the source list. So just click on the ME01, maintain the source list. So this is the screen of the creation of the source list or maintenance of the source list. Okay, so here system will be asking for the enter the material number here. So what's the material number? You can put it here. So this is our recently created material 25. I can just copy it and it's already there. And just copy. Okay, and enter the plant number. Keep it in. Okay, so this is the basic screen where we can maintain the source list. So here we need to maintain the validity, means what is the validity of that vendor we are going to procure the material. Okay, so I can put here is the today's date, and I need this vendor valid for the next 1 year. So I can enter 2024. Okay, so from within the 1 year, I can create the purchase order with this specific vendor within this validity period. Okay, so I can enter the vendor. The vendor number which you want to enter here, just enter the purchasing organization here. Okay, so my purchase organization, keep it in, just enter it. Okay, and just try to save this source list. Okay, so with this material, this vendor will be come into the picture while we are procuring the material. Okay, so we have the list of the vendors in our company. Okay, so but I am just fixing this vendor for this material only. Okay, so how I can extract the list of the vendor? So just click on the right side. Okay, so here is the search of the vendor. Okay, so I can search the vendor by the company code. Okay, so enter my company code and execute. So this much of the vendors under that same company code. Okay, so I cannot select the all the vendors. Okay, so I can only select the test vendor. Okay, which is we have recently created. Just put it here. Okay, and just save the source list or maintain. So after this, so the system is showing us the source list will be changed, like we have maintained the source list. So this is nothing about the maintaining of the source list. Okay, so that's it for today. So we have created all the master data, like the material master, vendor master, purchase info record, and source list. So tomorrow we can cover all the transactions code, like the creation of the PR, PO, then goods receipt and payment of the vendor. Okay. So Ankit, please stop the recording. Purchase requisition is a initial document. So purchase requisition is also called as a internal document. Okay, so initially, so the purchase requisition is the first document which confirms the requirement of that material from the any organization or any requisitioner. Okay, so the someone require the material in our organization, so they can create the initially purchase requisition. Okay, so which is the internal document, so they can give that purchase requisition to the our purchasing organization. Okay, so the purchasing organization will be work on that requisition and they can procure the material from the vendor. So that is nothing about the purchase requisition. Okay, so the T codes which is used for the creation of the purchase requisition is MA51N is used to create the purchase requisition. And if you want to do any changes, so we have the T code MA52N, and only for the display purpose, we have the T code YME53N there. Okay, so if you want to create the purchase requisition, you can just follow the path also, or maybe you can directly use the T code also there. Okay, so we can directly jump into the system, and we are using yesterday's data what we have created, material master, vendor master. Okay, so just go to the system and follow the path for the creation of the purchase requisition. Okay, so go to the logistic, materials management, purchasing, then purchasing requisition and create. Okay, or directly you can go to the T code also. So but if you are following the path, you can get the multiple T codes there. Okay, logistic, materials management, go to the purchasing. It is the option of the under purchasing, creation of the purchase requisition here. Okay, so if you can enter the T code here, so the same screen will be come into the picture. So I can just click on that create purchase requisition screen. Okay, so this is the basic screen of the creation of the purchase requisition here. Okay, so there are the three levels whenever we are creating any purchase requisition. First one is a header data, second one is a item overview, and third one is a item details. Okay, so in the creation of the purchase requisition, in the header data we are not entering anything. Okay, so if you want to enter the text, so it's not mandatory to enter any text or whatever. So in a purchase order we are entering the header data as organization structure and all the things. So at the time of purchase order, I will tell you what is that header data, what is the item overview and item details. Okay, so today we are going to create the one purchase requisition with reference to our recently created master data. Okay, so whenever you are creating any purchase requisition, there are the some standard document types there. Okay, so document type for the purchase requisition is a NB. It is the standard document type, and all other are the customized one. Okay, so SAP is given the standard that we call it as a NB, standard document type for the purchase requisition. Every time you need to select that document type NB as a standard. Okay, then go to the item overview. Here, this is the screen of item overview where you can enter your requirement of your material. Okay, so this is the material, this is the quantity where you can enter the quantity, how many of quantity you require, you can enter that quantity here. Then the plant, whatever which plant require that material, you need to enter here, and the storage location where you are going to store that material. And here is a name of that requisitioner, means who require that material. We need to enter the name of that person into the this tab. Okay, so I can check the yesterday's data. So for this material, yesterday's we have created this material, so I can just copy that material and just enter it also. So like this, I can put the material number here. Okay, then if how many quantity I want, so I require this material for 100 quantity. So I can put the quantity here, and for which plant I want to procure this material. So the plant is a TP10, and the storage location under that plant is a REM00. After entering the required data, just press enter. So whatever the data we have saved while creating the material master, so the name of that material, then material group, purchase group, all the things will be come into the screen automatically because we have already stored the master data of this material. Correct, yesterday we have created that material. At that time we are maintaining the description, material group, then purchasing group while creating the master data. That's the reason all the data will be come here automatically by entering only the material number here. Okay, so this is the way how you can create the purchase requisition. Okay, for the known material. If you want to create the purchase requisition for the unknown material, like here you can extract the list of the material from your plant. Okay, so I don't know which material I want to create the purchase description. Material number is unknown for me. So how I can check that material number? So here you can click on that option right side, and here is a option of searching the material number. So for plant specific, if you want to search your material master data, so here is the option of plant material by description. So the material under that plant, it will be showing the all the list of the material which is created under that plant. So I can just select this, and the search list for that plant will be come here. So I can just enter my plant name here, keep it in, and just execute it. So the all the list of the material under that plant will be coming here. Okay, so like this also you can select the material number and you can enter into your purchase requisition. Okay, so these are the number of the materials created under that plant. Yesterday we have created this, correct? So for that material, we are going to create the purchase requisition. Okay. So after entering all this data into the item overview, so go to the item details. Okay. So under the item details, you are seeing whatever the data related to that material, like the material number, material group, how many quantity we are required for the 100 quantity. Okay, so valuation, what is the valuation? So it is the price of that material. How this price will be come here? So whenever we are creating the material master there, okay, so at that time we are entering the moving average price. Okay, so I will show you how this price will become here in the purchase requisition. Okay, so I can just copy this material number and just check the material master mm03. I can just put the material number and go to the views. At the accounting views, we are entering that the price of that material, correct, yesterday. So this is the price. Whenever we are creating any purchase requisition, so the valuation or price will be come into the picture from the material master only. Okay, so this is the price will be picked for the purchase requisition here. Okay, so how this price, if you want to change, you can change that price here also, no problem. As per your requirement, you can change it, but no any requisitioner know about the price of that material, so they are not changing that valuation of the that material. So the who is responsible for purchasing that material, they know about the price of that material, so they can change it while creation of the purchase order. Okay, so it doesn't matter what is the price is coming into the purchase requisition. Okay, so don't worry about that. So price will be confirmed at the only while we are creating the purchase order. Okay, then source of supply we can cover after when we can cover the deep into the source list. Okay, so how this source of supply will be assigned directly here, so we can cover that part later, how that source of supply will be come into the picture automatically, how we can create the or assign the vendor to the that material. Okay, so the status contact person. Okay, so the who is the requisitioner of that material, I can enter the name of that person here. So I can enter my name is here, Mayur is required this material. Okay, and the text, if you want to add anything regarding the material, you can add it here, and the delivery address, so I can enter the name of the plant where we are receiving the material. So this is my plant where I want to receive this material. Okay, so after entering all the required data, so just click on the check option. Okay, so here is whatever the purchase requisition we have created here, the system showing us the no message issued during check. So no any errors in the system while creating this requisition. I just want to save this. Here is the option of the save. Okay, just click on the save. So the system will be giving us the separate number for your recently created purchase requisition. I can just copy this. Okay, put into our data. So this purchase requisition will be created under the our plant. So if you want to change anything into the purchase requisition, sometimes the quantity will be changed. Some requisition are what, yeah, I don't want this quantity. I require the another quantity. So how you can do that changes? So you can go to the T code of ME 52N. Okay, just click on that. Whatever the changes you require there, you can do it. Okay, so requisitioner don't want 100 quantity, they required only 50. Okay, so their requirement will be changed. So here I can change this quantity there to 50. Just enter it. So like this, you can change the quantity. If you don't require that material, you can just select it, and here is a option of delete. If you are deleting that, so that material will be deleted from that requisition. Wrongly, if you enter that material, okay, so sometimes the requisitioner can enter or given the wrong number. Okay, so that time also we can use that option of the deleting here. Okay, like this, you can delete the line items also from the purchase requisition. Okay, so here I can change the quantity name, whatever you want, you can change it here and check once again. Okay, and no issues during check. So just save once again. So right now the purchase requisition will be changed here. Okay, so like this, if you want to do any changes in the purchase requisition, like this way you can change it. Okay, then next step is, if you want to only display recently created purchase requisition or whatever, you can just click on it and you can only display the recently or whatever the purchase requisition you want to display here. Just click on purchase requisition, and here is the option of the other requisition. Okay, so which number you want to search here, you can just paste it here and execute. So that purchase requisition will be open here. Okay, so this is the use of display of the purchase requisition. Okay, so this is about the creation of the purchase requisition. Then changes, if you want to do, so you can do it the changes, and the display option only for the display of the purchase requisition. Okay, so yesterday we also have see the list report of vendor, material, info record, and source list. Like this, here is also option of the list display of the purchase requisition here. So just in the same path, here is the option of the list display. So how many of the purchase requisition will be created? So for that, the ME5A T code is used for the list display of the purchase requisition. Okay, so just click on it, and this is the screen of list display of purchase requisition there. Okay, so just enter the purchase group, or TP1 is my purchase group, and plant as a TP10, and the scope of list you need to select it from the drop down list. Okay, so I can just select it ALB, so it will be showing all the list of the purchase requisition created under that plant. Okay, so this much of the purchase requisition will be created under this plant. Okay, so this is our purchase requisition, correct? So where we are save that. So yeah, this is our recently created purchase requisition. So in the list, it will be showing like this purchase requisition. Okay, this is the all the list of the purchase requisition which are open at this plant. Okay, so the PO will be not created for this purchase requisition. Okay, so like this, you can extract the whole list of the purchase requisition by using the T code YME5A. So this is about the purchase requisition, creation, display, and changes. So you can just note down whatever the doubts you have. At the end, we can cover whatever the doubts you have. Okay. So the second transactions we are going to learn about today is the purchase order. Okay. So as I told you, so the purchase requisition is a internal document. We are not giving any purchase requisition towards the vendor. Okay. So it will be used only at our plant. So we are providing the purchase order, which is a standard document which is given to the any vendor or a supplier in the form of the email or a PDF. We can supply the standard purchase order to the vendor. Okay, so it is the external document. Also, the purchase order is the final confirmation from any organization for the order of any required goods. Okay, so it will be confirmed to the vendor. You can supply the goods or material to at the conditions maintained in the purchase order. Conditions like the price, agreements. Okay, so whatever the delivery schedules we are maintaining in the purchase order, so it will be supplied to the vendor. So you can supply the material to our plant at this is the quantity, this is the rate, and this is the delivery date of that material. So you can supply the material. Okay, so vendor will get confirmation from the company. That's why we are supplying that standard purchase order as a external document to the vendor. Okay, so these are the some key codes for the creation of the purchase order. Okay, so the creation of the purchase order, initially we are using the T code of ME21N for the creation of this purchase order. Then ME22 for the, if you want to anything changes in that purchase order, you can use it ME22N. And for the display purpose, you can use the T code of ME23N. Okay. Then this is the path how you can go and create the purchase order with reference to the vendor or with reference to the purchase requisition also. Okay, once the purchase requisition will be received towards the purchasing organization who is responsible for purchasing that material, so they can take the reference of that purchase requisition and create the standard purchase order there. Okay, so just go to the SAP, following the same path, go to the logistic, go to the materials management. Under the purchasing, you have the option of creation of the purchase order there. Okay, so here go to the create, and ME21N is the T code to create the purchase order. So just click on it. This is the screen will be pop for the creation of the purchase order. Okay, so like that same, whenever we are creating the purchase requisition, we are selecting the document type. So the here standard document type for the creation of purchase order is also ENB. So and all other are customized document type. So we select the ENB, which is the standard document type. Just click on it and enter the vendor number here. So what's our vendor number? I can just copy it. Or also there is an option of selecting the vendor from the list also. I can just enter that vendor code. Okay, enter my organization data under the header. So same like the purchase requisition, here are the three views while creating the purchase order: header data, item overview, and item details. So whenever we are creating any purchase requisition, we are not going to enter any data into the header data, but while creating the purchase order, we need to enter the organization data under the header data. So just enter the purchase organization which you have created, purchase group, and company code here. Okay, after entering that, so if you don't know the vendor number. So how you can extract that vendor number from the list? So just click on that vendor tab and click on that double page options. Okay. So you can search the vendor which are maintained into the same company code. Okay. So here is a search option for the vendor. How you can search? So there are the lots of the options here. Vendor by the general, vendor by the country and company code, vendor by the company code, vendors by the country. So I can just select vendor by the company code and just I can enter the my company code H100 and click on the execute. Okay. So all the list of the vendors which will be created under that company code, it will be display overall list of the all vendors there. Okay. So from this list, you can select your vendor. Okay. So if you don't know about the vendor number, you can just go and execute the overall list of the vendor and select that vendor from the list. That's the way also you can search for your vendor. Just go to the search list, select it up, list by the vendors by the company code, enter your company code there. Okay. So don't worry about that. What is the company code, purchase organ, purchase group. Okay. So whenever the topic on enterprise structure will be covered, so that time you will get to know about that what is the company code, plant, storage locations, and all the things there. Okay. So like this, you can select the unknown vendor for your purchase order. Okay. So after entering the vendor, so I have entered here organization data, purchase or purchase group and company code. Okay. So right now, what I can do, recently created the purchase requisition. I want to take a reference of that purchase requisition. Okay. So how I can extract that purchase requisition into the purchase order? Here is the option of document overview. So click on it and so the system will be on the document overview. Okay, so just click on the selection variant and here is a list of whatever the documents you have created here, like a purchase order, request for quotation, contracts, scheduling agreement, general purchasing document, purchase requisition. Okay, so recently we have created the purchase requisition. For that, we are going to take the reference of that purchase requisition. Okay, so just go to the my purchase requisition option there. Okay, so the system will be showing all the list of the purchase requisition you have created. So this is our recently created purchase requisition, correct? So I can just verify it. So this is our purchase requisition number. Okay, so just click on that and here is the option of the add up. So I'm not entering anything in the material, PO quantity, net price. Okay, so the data will be automatically come from the purchase requisition. Okay, just select it and click on the add up. So the system will be automatically fetch the data from the purchase requisition which we have created. Okay, so just click on the off option of the document overview and just check. So this is our material which we had entered while creating the purchase requisition. This is the 50 quantity, the price. So you're getting the difference whenever we are creating the purchase requisition. So the valuation will be come at a 10 rupees. But why it will be come into the picture as a 20 rupees? So this price, whenever we are creating the PO, so the price will be fetched from the info record. Okay. So yesterday we have created the purchase info record, correct? So at that time we are enter the price of that material. It will be the 20 rupees. Okay. So I will show you into the info record yesterday what we have created. So this is the info record yesterday we have created, correct? So we can display that info record and just show you how that price will be come. Okay. So this is the purchase order and here the info record will be come. What is the info record? So whatever the vendor and master material master we have maintained. So the price will be come into the picture from that info record. So I can just click on that info record. Okay, so this is the price, 20 rupees, what we have entered while creation of the info record there. Okay, so that's why the price of that material will be come while creation of the purchase order as a 20 rupees. Okay, so that's the prioritize. So whenever we are creating any PO, so it will be take the reference of the price from the initially contract, then the info record. Okay, so right now we are only created the info record, so the system will be picking the price from the info record only. Okay, so like this, the info record will be saved, and this is our purchase requisition number. Okay, this is our item. Like this, we can create the purchase order with reference to our purchase requisition here. So if you want to check your requisition, just double click on it. Okay, so like this, the system will be showing you whatever the purchase requisition you have created there. Okay, so it will be stored all the data with reference to the purchase requisition, info record, material number, who is the requisitioner, Mayur is the requisition of this material. Okay, so this is about the creation of the purchase order with reference to the purchase requisition there. Okay, so again, if you want to go to the item details, you can go and check what is the item details there, what is the material group, what is the quantity, how many quantity you are requiring that material. You are creating the purchase order, 50 quantities, delivery schedule, and delivery. Under the invoicing, you have the option of the tax code and all the things, GR based invoice, invoice receipt. What that things you will get to know about in a future. What is the GR based invoice verification and all the things. Okay, conditions. Under the conditions, all the things will be maintained, like the price of that material, then text. If you want to add any text regarding the material, you can add it here. Okay, so specification of that material you require, so you can enter that specification of that material into the text. Then delivery address. Okay, so this is the plant where I require this material, so vendor can supply the material into the this address only. Okay, then the confirmation and condition control come into the picture. Okay, so once again, go to the header data. So here is the option of payment terms. Whenever we are creating the vendor master, so the payment terms we are enter the NT30. So it will become here. So this currency also we are enter while creating the vendor master. So it will be the Indian rupees. Exchange rate is 1 rupees. No problem. So the in the conditions, it will be show overall price of that material. So we are creating the purchase order for the 50 quantity at the rate of 20 rupees each. So the total price of that material is 1,000 rupees. Okay, 50 into 20,000. So it will be showing into the condition tab under the header data. So here is also once again the text, address of that vendor, partner, additional data. If you want to use any start date, validity, enter date, this will be used for the limit purchase order. Don't focus on that right now. Organization data, status. So this is showing the status of that purchase order. So 50 quantity we have order here. Delivery 0 quantity will be delivered still, and still to deliver as a 50 quantity, and invoicing 0 quantity we have invoice still. Okay, so like this under the status tab, so the system will be showing you what is the status of that purchase order. And last one is the payment processing. So don't go for that. So this is about the creation of the purchase order. Okay, so like this we can create the purchase order with reference to the purchase requisition. Okay, so after entering all data, just check it. Okay, so the no message issue during check. So the creation of the purchase order will be okay. Just click on the save. After checking all data, system giving us the separate purchase order number there. Just copy it and save for the our reference. Okay, so like that, same, we have the option of the changing anything into the purchase order. If you can change anything, you can go to the MA22 and T code. Okay, so just click on the purchase order and click on the other purchase order. So which purchase order you want to change here, enter that purchase order number here. Okay, and click on the enter. So the purchase order will be come here for the changes. Okay, so if here you want to do the any changes in your purchase order, you can change it, storage location, whatever the quantity, price. Okay, so you can change it and click on the save. So right now I don't want to change anything. I just back here and save the purchase order there. Okay, and below is a MA23 and T code, which is used for the display of the purchase order. Okay, so just click on it, and whatever the purchase order number you want to display, just click on the other purchase order number, copy that purchase order number here, click on the enter. So the here you don't want to do any changes here. Okay, so here is only a display of that purchase order. Okay, so in MA22N you're doing to any changes, and MA23N is only for the display purpose. Okay, so that is nothing about the creation of the purchase order. Okay, and like that same, in the purchase order also we have the option of the list display of all the purchase order. Okay, so in the purchase order we have the two uh, list display of the purchase order with reference to the vendor and with reference to the material also. Okay, so I can just select list display of the purchase order with respect to the material. If you want to extract the list of the purchase order with respect to the material only, so what you can do, you can just enter the material number there. So for you want to extract the purchase order, how many purchase order will be created for that material, just enter the material number here and select the scope of list, which is the alive ALV, which is everything possible. Enter the plant and purchase organization and purchase group and click on the execute. So the system will be giving you the all the list of the purchase order created for that material there. Okay, so two purchase order will be created for this material. Okay, so 48 and 52. If you don't enter the any material number here, okay, and just select that list, scope of list, and you can execute. So the system will be giving all the purchase order under that plant till date created without entering any material number. So it will be showing you all the list of the purchase order without the material number there. Okay, so like this you can extract the list of the purchase order by using T code YUMI to YUM. So this is the list display of the material of the purchase order, and this is the list display of the purchase order by vendor. Just enter on that, and here you need to enter the vendor. So the purchase order, how many purchase order will be created for that vendor, it will be showing the list display of that purchase order. I can just copy that vendor and enter here and execute. Just select that scope of list as a aliasly and execute. So there are the two purchase order for that specific vendor. Okay, so like this you can extract any of the list of the purchase order with reference to the YUMI to L as well as YUMI to YUM. Okay, so this is nothing about the creation of the purchase order and the list display of the purchase order and a purchase requisition. Okay, so that's it for today. So,
I'm stopping the recording.
yes, sir. So just come into the video mode, all of you, and if you have any doubts and questions, so you can. Okay, hello everyone, good morning. So initially we can summarize the previous all sessions, okay? Then we can start the today's topic. So previously we have gone through the master data, like material master we have covered, vendor master, then purchase info record also we have covered along with the source list, okay? So that's master data we have covered, which is required for the basic procure to pay cycle, okay? Then after that, master data we have covered the two transactions, correct? One initially the purchase requisition part we have covered, which is the internal document, and then we have covered the
It's transaction data, not master data.
yes, transaction data, correct. Transaction data we have covered. Two transactions we have covered. Initially, the purchase requisition, and then second one is the creation of the purchase order, okay, which is we are providing to the vendor for the confirmation of our order there, okay. So today we are going to learn how to receive that material, which is we are giving the purchase order towards the vendor, okay. So once we are providing the purchase order to the vendor, so vendor can process that purchase order and supply the material to the company's premises there, okay. So like this, we have created the purchase order there, okay. So if all are remember, so we have covered the creation of the purchase order, okay. So today we are going to learn GRN, okay. So goods receipt note, GR part, we also call it as a goods receipt note, in a short GRN, correct. So it is the receipt of goods received or goods delivered by the vendor. Hello, so mute. Hello.
Ankit, are you there to mute mic or somewhere I should mute my end? Let me check once.
Yes, I'm there.
Just mute the mic. Someone joining or someone is unmuting the mic, right? It will not. The one request to all, don't unmute your mic until 7:30 AM. Be there and just listen whatever the content is covered by Mayur. And then we will discuss about the question part at the end, okay? So note down all the points which you are going to keep a book and pen somewhere, write down, and which area you are not able to understand. You can ask and you can get it clarified. Okay, go ahead, Mayur.
Okay, so GRN is the receipt of goods or a goods delivery by the vendor into the company's premises, okay. So once we can do the GRN, so it will be increase the inventory of our plant, okay, as we are adding the stock into the company's premises, okay. So GRN is a part of a inventory management, means whatever the material is coming into the system, so we will manage that inventory into the company's premises there, okay. So these are the list of the T codes. So by for goods receipt, so mostly we are using the Migo T code for the goods movement into the SAP system, okay. So this is the path how to reach to the Migo T code, okay. So go to the SAP menu, logistic materials management, then go to the inventory management and goods movement. There you can find the Migo T code, okay. So we can go to the SAP and just I will show you how the paths there, okay. So you can directly use the T code also, Migo directly, but just time being you can follow the path. Here you can find the most of the T codes there, okay, like this in this screen. Initially go to the logistic materials management. Here you can find the inventory management. Under that goods movement, here is a T code to receive the material or whatever the movements happen into the industry or in the plant, you can do with that Migo T code, okay. So there are the lots of the options like the goods received, return delivery, cancellation, subsequent delivery, goods issue, okay. Regarding the movement of that material, all the transactions will be done into the single T code as a Migo goods movement there, okay. So today we are going to learn how to receive the material with respect to the purchase order there, okay. So select the goods receipt here, and then here is the option of the purchase order. With respect to the purchase order, we are going to receive the that material here, okay. So we have created the purchase order before that, so just I can copy that purchase order number, okay, as we are receiving the material with respect to the purchase order only, okay. So just enter that purchase order number here, is enter. So whatever the material we are enter during the creation of the purchase order, quantity, storage locations, unit of measurement. Okay, so it will be come into the picture when you can enter the purchase order number here. Okay, so vendor, which vendor we are mentioning. Okay, so all the things will be come or pop up here as per our recently created purchase order there. Okay, so whatever the required things you can enter it here. Okay, so what is the delivery note? I can just put the bill of landing. So as a today's date, whatever as per your requirement, you can enter the things here. Okay, so as a header text, you can enter the number of your vehicle, from where this material will be reaching out. Okay, whatever the business scenario, you can mention it. You can enter the data here as per the requirement. Okay, so each and every time you can take it as per your requirement here. Okay, what is the bill of landing, delivery note, header text, you can enter it here. Okay, and for the whenever we are doing the goods receipt, so just focus on that. So each and every time the movement type is will be the one, not one. Okay, so there are the lots of the movements for the goods received here. Okay, so this is the overall list of the goods received. Okay, so 101 is we are using. So what is the description of that 101 movement type? Is a goods received for the purchase order into the warehouse or a store. Okay, so right now we are using this movement type for the receiving the material. So 102 is a reversal of that. Okay, so these are the lots of the movements types here for the goods received, consumptions, and all the things there. Okay, so today we are going to learn about only 101 here. Okay, so just select that movement type. So by default, it will be coming to the picture 101 whenever you are selecting the goods received and with respect to the purchase order. Okay, so whenever you are using the 101 movement, so the stock will be showing direction as a plus, because our inventory will be get into the adding into the our system. Okay, so like that movement is a 101 and direction will be showing as a plus, so our inventory will be get adding. Okay, so all the things it will be come into the picture as per the purchase order. Just look at material which we have created, material group under the item details, then quantity, how many quantity I am going to receive. So you can change it. Okay, so sometimes vendor will be giving the material less as per our purchase order. If we are giving the PO for 50 quantity, okay, so vendor supply the material as per the delivery schedule. Okay, sometimes they can give the less material. Okay, so today I'm going to receive the whole material as a 50 quantity. You can reduce that number also here. Just click on that. If I can receive the 30 quantity today, it will be changed into the 30 also. As per the requirement, you can change it. Okay, so today we are going to do the full GRN there. Okay, as a delivery note, I can also add the 50 quantity there. Okay, where so this plant will become, and the storage location, whenever I'm creating the purchase order, at that time I have put the storage location as a raw material. Okay, so here is an option to change the storage location also. Okay, so just click on that option. These are the storage location maintained under the TP10 plant. Okay, so if you want to change, by default it will be coming from the purchase order, whatever you are mentioned that, but sometimes so wrongly it will be enter the another storage location. You can correct it into the goods while doing the goods receipt here. Okay, so right now I am not changing any storage location here. I just select it RM00, which is the raw material storage location. Okay, and go to the next step, purchase order data here. Okay, so here, so you can get the your purchase order number. Okay, so just double click on it, so the system will be showing you the whole purchase order. Okay, so on which date we have created 15. So for this material we have created the purchase order for the 50 quantity. What price? 20 rupees. All the things will be come here. Okay, whatever the you have created there. Okay, so right now in the item details, the purchase order history tab will be not here. Okay, so once we can receive the material, after the receiving material, that purchase order history tab will be come into the picture, which store all the history of that purchase order, whatever we are receiving the material, goods received, like invoice posting. Okay, so once we can receive that material, I will show you that how that purchase order history tab will be come into the picture here. Okay, And another things here also under the delivery right now. So that under that delivery, here is a delivery completion. Okay, this tag will be come here. Okay, after the completion of the delivery of that material, it will be tick automatically. Okay, so how we can set that delivery completion tag? So just here is option delivery completion under the purchase order here. So right now I am set as this as a automatically. So once we can complete the receiving of that all the material into that purchase order, so it will be automatically set as a delivery will be completed. Okay, so if you cannot set or do not set, so this is right now I can set as a set automatically once the goods receipt done, so it will be automatically updated into the purchase order there. Okay, so that's about the delivery completion indicator. Here the vendor which we have mentioned while creation of the purchase order, it will be come into the picture here. Okay, so all the things are come from the purchase order. Just after check all the data, click on this item. Okay, after entering all the data, and just click on the check options. Okay, the document is okay. So right now we can just check the stock of this material into our system. How many we have the stock of that material, correct? Just copy that item and check right now what we have the stock of that material. Just checking of the stock purpose, we have the T code of MMBE is the stock checking. Just enter the material number here along with the plant and just execute. Right now we have the 35 stock. Okay, so and we have created the purchase order for the 50 numbers. Okay, so I can receive all these 50. Just check on item. Okay, and check the system is giving the message document is okay. Just click on the post here. Okay, after posting you will getting the separate material document number. Just copy that for the reference. I will copy. And once again check the stock of that material. Okay, so as we have received the 50 quantity, so our inventory will be adding here. Okay, so now right now just refresh the stock. Okay, so right now our inventory will be increased by the 50 numbers as we have received the 50 quantity today, correct? So like this, so whatever whenever we are receiving the material, it will be adding the inventory into the company's premises like this. Okay, so once again if you want to check the recently posted documents, so how you can check it? So here is the option called as a display. If you want to check any material document you have entered there, select as a display, click on the material document and enter the material document number which you want to display there. Okay, just click on the enter. So whatever the material document you have entered there, it will be displayed to you for just display purpose only. Okay, so whatever the material you have received, what is the quantity, what is the storage location, purchase order, and partner, which is the vendor. Okay, so as we have received the whole material, okay, so just go to the purchase order. Okay, then right now this tick will be automatically come here. Okay, as the delivery will be completed, correct? So before that we are receiving the material, it will be checkbox is a untick. Right now it will be automatically check. Okay, so this is about the delivery completion of that material. Okay, and once again, so right now the purchase order history tab will be come here as we are entering or as we are receiving the material with respect to the goods received and the invoice posting. So that purchase order history tab will be storing or it will be taking the history of that purchase order whatever we are doing into that PO. Okay, so we are doing only the goods receipt. Right now it will be showing us the whatever the material document number with respect to the 101 moment we are receiving the 50 quantity. This is the amount. Okay, so like this the purchase order history will be come into the picture after we are doing any GR or a invoice of with respect to the that purchase order number here. Okay, so just back once again like this you can display the material document number. Okay, so here is another second options, like, okay, so someone has wrongly done the GR. Okay, so how we can cancel that GR document? Okay, so again, into the same screen in the Migo, here is a option of the cancellation. Okay, so sometimes by mistakenly store a person enter the or receive the wrong material, or while receiving the material they can enter the wrong movement type, whatever. So they can uh, cancel that document by using the option of the cancellation. So select the material document number. Okay, if you want to cancel that document, just enter that material document number here, whatever or which you want to cancel it, just enter here. Okay, so whatever the document you have entered there, it will be come here for the cancellation. Okay, so with this vendor right now, the movement type is a 102. Okay, as I said you, whenever we are receiving the material, at that time the movement type is a 101, which is the increasing or adding our inventory. Okay, so right now I can cancel that document, correct? So right now the inventory will be, or direction will be into the minus sign, correct? So as the inventory will be uh, out from the our stock, as we are canceling the document there. Okay, so just check that document. Okay, once again, so where the storage location from these purchase order. Okay, all the things are same. So just click on the item. Okay, and check it. Okay, so document is okay, and just post it. Okay, so if you can post the cancellation document, all the entries will be changes. Okay, so like this I have put the or cancel the material document which is wrongly posted for the some reason. Like this I have entered, or I have cancelled the material document. Once again I can just display that document which we have cancelled. Like this you can display the recently material document there. Okay, so for both the movement type is a different. For receiving 101 and for cancellation of that document we have the 102 movement type for the cancellation purpose. Okay, so like this you can do the goods receipt or receiving of that material. Okay, so if you want to check the list display of all the material documents, so how you can check it? Okay, for the reporting purpose, how you can check all the list of the material document here. So in the same path, logistic materials management, under the inventory management, you can go for the list display of all the movement type or all the goods receipt document. So go to the environment, into the same screen, go to the list display. For the list display of the material document for the goods movement, we have the tick code of MB51. Just click on that. So the screen of the material document will be come here. Okay, so just enter the plant as per your requirement, from which plant you want to get the list display, and here is the option of movement type. So which movement type you want to extract the list, so you can specify here as per your requirement. So I can just put two movement types here. One is a 101 and second one is a 102 here, and just I can enter the posting date as a day before yesterday, or okay, I can put as a 15, and enter the from which date to which date I want to extract the list, and I can put as a today's date. So within that 3 days, whatever the movement of 101 and 102 will be happen into the this plant, I want to extract the list for whole list of that movement type here. So just after entering the plant and movement type, if you want to the from which date, you can enter the date also. If you can put the blank here, so the system will be giving the all the data for that plant. Okay, just after entering the required data, just click on the execute. Like this, system is giving me the whole list of that movement type. Okay, 101, 102, Okay, whatever the goods receipt and cancellation will be happen on the date, so the system will be showing the overall list of that material. Okay, so this is our today's transaction. Okay, so 54 and a 55, we can just check it. Okay, so 54 we have done for the goods receipt and 55 for the cancellation of that document, correct? So if you want to check, just click on that document, so it will be display that material specific document for 102 also, as well as 101 also. Okay, so again, if you want to extract that list into the Excel for the reporting purpose, how you can do it? So just click on the flat list. So whatever the remaining things will be saved, just click on the execute. Okay, so the system will be giving you the flat list of that material. Okay, so if you want to extract this list into the Excel sheet, just right click on it. Here is the option of the spreadsheet. Select as a Excel. Select from the available format. I can select as a Excel format here. Okay, and click on the right mark. Just save this file onto the desktop, and we can set as a enter the name and put as a here doc, no problem. Just click on the save. So allow, once again allow. So like this, you can extract this data into the Excel sheet. Okay, if you require, as per the business requirement. So business asks you whatever the material document, GR, cancellation, all the things you want to present into the Excel. Like this, you can extract this data as per your requirement. Okay, so whatever you can filter it, sort it. Okay, as per your requirement. Like this, you can extract the data into the Excel sheet. Okay, right now I have canceled the document. Once again, I need to do the GR goods receipt for the invoice posting there. Okay, so next topic is invoice posting. For that, I require the goods receipt of that material. I can just fastly do the goods receipt once again with respect to the same purchase order. Okay, so I can receive the whole material. Just check it. Document is okay, and just post it once again. So the new material document number will be come here. I can just copy that. Okay, if right now you can check the purchase order history of that PO, so it will be showing the three movements. Okay, or a three material document 54, 55, 56. I will show you. Just go to the display of the purchase order MA23 and enter the purchase order which you want to display. Click on the other purchase order. Okay, put your purchase order number here. Okay, go to the item details, check the delivery. So right now it will be completed, correct? Then go to the purchase order history tab. Okay, so here it will be showing the three material documents for this purchase order. Okay, so as we have for 54, we have received that material with a 101 moment. Then again, we have canceled the document, and right now again with the that purchase order, we are receiving that 50 quantity there. Okay, with the 5-6 document, it will be come into the, or it will be stored all the material document into the purchase order history tab. Okay, so again, so the next step is, after the receiving the material, the last step in a P2P cycle is a invoicing or invoice posting there. Okay, so invoice verification here. Okay, so logistic invoice verification is the last step in a P2P cycle. In that, we can verify the invoice which is received from the vendor. Okay, so normally the invoice verification will be done by the accounts payable team into the any company. Okay, so but as a part of the P2P cycle, we can cover this topic. But most of the times, account payable team will be responsible for that invoice verification. Okay, So for the invoice verification, we have the T code of the to enter the invoice Miro, and this is the path how you can enter the incoming invoice from the vendor. Okay, so just go to the same screen, logistic materials management. Under that, we have the option of the logistic invoice verification, document entry, and the T code for that. Enter the invoice is a MIRO. Someone called as a Miro, Myro. Okay, so as per the pronunciation, you can use it Miro or Myro. Correct. So just go to the SAP once again. Same path, logistic materials management. Under that, we have the option of the logistic invoice verification. Okay, go to the document entry. Here you can find the enter the incoming invoice. Just click on the Miro. So the screen of invoicing will be come into the picture. Okay, so for that, initially we required the invoice date here. Okay, so I can just copy that posting date into the invoice date. Just enter. Okay, so here under the PO reference, we have the lots of the options for the entering the invoice. Okay, so right now I can select as a purchase order oblique scheduling agreement. With respect to the purchase order, we are going to push the invoice. Okay, so here you need to enter the purchase order number here. So I can just copy that purchase order number for whose we want to enter the incoming invoice or verify the invoice. Just enter that purchase order number, then click on the enter. Okay, so for this 50 quantity, sorry, and at the rate of 20 rupees, they have created that purchase order. So the total amount will be the 1000 rupees here. Okay, and select the tax code right now as a VAVA, which is as a input tax for the tax procedure. Here also you can select the same tax code. Okay, so if you can select the different tax code for this system, it will be showing the error. Okay, so same tax code you can put it here also into the basic data also, as well as the PO reference screen also. Okay, so after selecting this tax code, just click on the calculate tax. Okay, so it will be calculate the tax for that amount. Okay, whatever we have entered 1000 rupees, it will be calculating the tax for that 1000 rupees here. Okay, so as we are mentioned as a input tax there. Okay, so after entering the tax code and all the things there, so you need to balance this amount, okay, into the this amount type. Right now this is the red. Okay, so I want to balance this amount. How I can do it? I can just copy this amount which is we are going to pay to the vendor and paste that balance amount into the amount tab. After entering that amount, so just press enter. Right now this amount will be the balance. Right now that red signal will be turned into the green. Okay, so the whatever the amount we can pay to this vendor, it will be the balance. Correct. So after entering that all the data, so it means that signal will be the green. So the our invoice will be okay. Just click on the simulate here, and the system will be showing how much of amount you're going to pay to the vendor here. Okay, so for that test vendor, we are going to pay to the 1050 rupees, and the description as a for the material, we are going to pay the 1000 rupees for this purchase order. Okay, and the tax amount is a 50 rupees. So total amount we are going to invoice will be a by the 1050 rupees. After entering all the data, and just click on the simulation, click on the post button here. Okay, so after entering or click on that post button, so the invoice posting will be done. Again, you are getting the invoicing number here. Okay, just copy that for the reference. Right now the invoicing posting also will be the done there. Okay, so like this you can post the invoice for the towards the vendor as a invoice, as a part of the invoice verification. Again, if you want to display the recently posted invoice, here is a option of display. Just click on the invoice document and click on the display here. Okay, so you can display the recently posted invoice here. Okay, what is the GL code, material, contract reference, all the things will be come here. Okay, so what is the amount and all the things come into the picture. Okay, so right now once again check the purchase order history tab. So it will be stored the data of invoicing also. Okay, so just go to the purchase order history right now here. So it will be storing the invoice receipt also. Okay, so this is our invoice which we have recently posted 5137, correct? So as we have done that invoice posting or invoice receipt, so it will be stored the data like this. Goods receipt, for goods receipt, these three documents we have created, and for the invoice posting we have created the single document. Okay, so these are the some transactions keys it will be showing here. Okay, and this is the invoicing number here. Okay, so like same material document list display we are displaying like that. If you want to display the list of the invoice posting, how you can do it? Just once again follow the same path there. Go to the logistic materials management, logistic invoice verification. Under the further processing, under the logistic invoice verification, you can find the list display here. Okay, so MIR5 is a T code to list display of the invoice document there. Okay, just click on it, or you can directly enter the T code MIR5 there also. Okay, so enter the fiscal year. So I can enter the 2023 for my company code. I just want to list display of that invoice posting. Okay, so for how many days you want to check the invoice, so I can enter the document date from the 15th to today's date here. Just click on the execute. Okay, so if you want to require all of the things, you can also put it here as per your requirement. Okay, and click on the execute button. Okay, so like this, but list of the invoice documents will be come here. Okay, as per the sorting of our date and the year. So this is the list of all the invoicing will be done within the 15th to 18th date. Okay, so I think this is our recently posted invoice 5137. Am I correct? Okay, 5137 is a recently posted our invoice. Like this, you can check your invoice list of the invoice here. Okay, which is you have entered there, which is the invoicing party, vendor, who's the user who is going to enter that invoice. Okay, so all the things will be come here, on which date you have entered that invoice, at the what time you can enter. Okay, so all the things will be come here as we have entered the invoice there. Okay, so like that same you can extract the list of that invoicing. Same screen, you can go to the spreadsheet, extract that list. Okay, click on the desktop. So list I can post as a invoice posting doc. Click on the allow button, two types. Okay, like this. Also you can extract the data into the Excel sheet. Okay, for the auditing purpose or whatever like that. For the your business require that data into the Excel sheet. Like this, you can extract the all the data into the Excel sheet there. Okay. That is nothing about the basic P2P cycle we have covered here, from the creation of the purchase requisition to the last step in the P2P cycle is a invoice posting there. Okay, so Ankit, please stop the recording.
Yes. I'm stopping the record. And one more thing,
Yes.
can you add another 6 minutes is there in the layout level, right? How to update, in the sense, how to select the new field, how to remove the field, and you can make it, right? Can you go to MB51
Okay.
and show it once? There's an option called change layout, save layout, and there is a specific to user level you can change, or you can go as a default entire to the client or the system. If you change it, it will be available for every users. If you know means you can show it, or else I can give it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You just execute and just show the how the change layout can be done. Example, these fields are available now. So you need additional field, not in that
Okay.
MIR5. And here also you can do it. Okay.
Yeah,
You add in.
we can. Okay.
In MB50 or not, you can do it. No, you just execute it, right?
Yes.
Do it here only. Just
Okay.
add.
So if you want to add anything into that report, okay. So here is the option of uh, display variant here. Okay. So in that, these are the things right now we are showing here. Okay. So the material, plant, storage location, movement type. Okay. So this report will be right now the display here. Okay. So posting date, special talk, it will be showing like this. Okay. So if you want to add any other than these things, so here is a option, right? You can add into that report. Okay. So which here
Just
I
add
want to add.
entry date. Can you
Okay.
add entry date? Can you add
Document date.
order price unit? Can you add currency if any?
Okay, I will add the currency here.
Price unit, entry date is there, valuation type is there. Then there is no valuation type. It will be blank.
Valuation type.
At least, yeah, put some 5-6 entry and just show it.
Okay, so I can select the anything here. So I can select the order unit firstly, and just if you want to whatever the you think add into here, just click on that and add into that report here. Okay, order unit will be right now the add into the our report. Okay, then what I can add here, entry date, time of entry, purchase order number. Right now, yeah, I can add the purchase order number here. Just click on that purchase order and add into the list of that report here. Okay, so right now the purchase order will be added here. Purchase order will be added here. Okay. The quantity of that material also, quantity is already there. Material document here. Currency we can add here. Just click on that currency and you can add here. Okay, click on the adopt. Okay, right now as per our changes in the report, the purchase order will be come here, correct? And the currency tab also here come. Okay, as per our requirement, you can change the layout as per your requirement. Just go to the current display variant. Okay, and add anything whatever you require there. Okay, so you can add also, or you can subtract from the report also if you don't record anything here. Okay, so you can just special stock here. Okay, so how you can remove, just click on it and you can have the hide selection. Okay, if you can select hide, it will be not showing here. Okay, so like this you can add and subtract from this report whatever the things you can required as per the business requirement. Whatever the report they want to extract, you can add and subtract from this list. Okay,
Can you save it? Save as. Click on the
Okay.
save as.
okay.
And can you give information about user specific and default? What is these two options? If you click on user specific, how it will behave. If you click on default, how it will behave. Can you explain this point?
Okay, so if I can put as that user specific, and I can enter the name here, so it will be only for that user specific. I think I also don't know, sir, about that.
Yeah, it's user specific one. Yeah, when you
Okay.
enter the user specific, your login ID when you log in, and you can see the layout when you execute MV50. When
Okay,
you make it default, when you
Okay.
uncheck the default and just make it user specific, right? So it
Okay.
is only applicable for your user ID. You are not disturbing others' layout. But
Okay.
something all user in the organization want to have a single default layout, then you can set the default layout and you can save the name. And while executing time, you can take it, or after executing also you can choose the variant features.
Okay.
Just save one user specific thing by layout Mayur. Just you can mention like okay, and just put the name layout name as Mayur Z Mayur something. Remove slash. Slash is only for default. It will take it. Then click on OK. Now it got saved.
Okay, layout got saved.
Now you just close, come back, and just execute it. And you will not see any layout which you saved, right?
Correct.
Now how you can choose the layout without selecting again and again, right? Can you click on that? Can you go back? And in the first screen, there is a layout.
Here is the option of the layout.
Just choose the layout, Mayur.
execute. So it will be showing the layout as per the layout we have saved there. Okay. So
if you make it default checkbox and save that variant with this layout field, then it will be applicable for all the users. Example, 100 users are there in the organization. If you make it default, then default. It's similar like how you saved, right? It will be there. Okay, can you go to MIR5? So MIR5 will have a different look and feel where you are just type MIR5 and execute and show the view. Just put the company code number, execute. So here you can see that the layout icons are different compared to MD51. So here you can see 3 boxes and check some box layer is there. Can you click on there?
choose the layout.
Choose layout is there, or you can change layout. Click on that, change layout. You can change here. All the fields are selected. Already close this. Close this. Close this. That is the same process. Next, choose layout is there. Next, click on that. Here you can choose if any layout is saved.
Okay, user specific and all.
Maybe all. Yeah, it will show user specific. It will show user specific. All means it will all. Global means global. You will have a global. Under global, you have all and user specific. Okay.
Okay.
Global user specific. Just close it. We'll stop our recording.
Okay.
And let's have a Q&A session on the GR and noise part. Let's see how many are getting questions. Yeah, just record.